Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So coming back again with the dog Tales Decoupage toppers, and I decided to have a little play with the golden retriever and the border collie today. I'm also going to be using the background, so I'm just going to take the two ones that I need for today's two cards, and then I can pop this out of the way. I want the kitchen scene. Yep. That one. Okay, so let me just pop that one down, and I'll pop those just to the side for the second. So the first one I'm going to be doing is with this sort of seascape scene. Just pop that one out. I'll pop those to the side. And I'm bringing in a piece of 12 by 6 300 GSM cardstock, which is my usual. So I thought I'd tidy it up around here, but there's just one little piece there outstanding. So I'm going to make a sort of stepper card. So this is going to be scored at 4 inches. And then I'm going to turn that around and score at 2 and at 4. So we're just going to have the 2 steps on there. Pop that down. And then I could just actually let me fold that the other way because the card's just a little wider that other way. And just making sure that's straight. Again there and there, and I am just going to go over that with the porcelain folder. So we've got a card that's going to stand like that. So it's going to go in a 4 by 6 envelope, but it'll probably have to be one that's going to accommodate quite a few layers, because obviously we're going to have our decoupage on top of that as well. Okay, let's pop that to the side. And I need to grab my trimmer, which has disappeared. Bear with me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. I did like my little pre-check, you know, lights check, camera check. Did I check important tools? No. Okay, so I've got my trimmer and I've got some gold mirror card. And I need a 4 by 6 mat to go on here. And it will be 2 by 4 on here, but I'm going to take those 2 notches off because, as you know, I like to see that little bit of white. If you don't like to see the white, then just do it to 4 by 6 and 2 by 6. Okay, so we've taken 2 notches off 2 of the sides, and then from this piece we want this to be 2 notches under the 2. And 2 notches under the 6. So we'll just put those out of the way. We'll just make sure they fit okay. So that one's looking good. That one is looking good as well. And then I'm coming to the beach paper. So I'm going to do the front piece first of all, which is going to be this sand. And that needs to be 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. It should fit nicely onto here, and it does. And then I think, no, I'm going to keep it as it was. I was wondering whether to have the lighthouse, but I think that probably won't make sense if I have it. So this is for the larger piece at the back, so it's going to be 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. I've got that little bit of seagull there. If you wanted to, you could always cut these out and stick them in. I'm not going to today because actually my dog is coming to come over the top of this, so it will end up going in a 6 by 6 envelope. And let's just pop those to the side. Nice pattern on the back of there. Don't want to put that away. we might be able to use that elsewhere. Okay. So the glues I'm going to be using today are my usual glues. So I've got the Collie all-purpose glue in here. I've got the Cloud Tacky glue in there. And I'm going to be using the Dotty Tape pen, which is a Crafter's Companion one. Hunkydorys do one exactly the same. So pick your poison. You may already have a glue that you prefer for these things. So I'm going to use the all-purpose glue, and this is a paper, so I am going to use the Dotty Tape pen on it purely because the tacky glue has got a water content to it, and in my environment here sometimes it can make the paper all bubbly once it's dried. So I'm going to use that one there. And then now, because I'm going on to the card, back of that mirror card, I can use my normal glues. So a little bit of tacky in the corners, just to give that a little bit of extra stick, and also just makes the whole thing stick a little faster. It's got a shorter window of wiggle room time than the all-purpose. Okay, so that's our nice beach scene there. Let's go ahead and do the same on the other piece. Again, those dots in the corner, and then some all-purpose in the middle. You can use just all-purpose if you prefer, but because I am going to be doing gluing onto this, I just want to make sure that that's stuck nice. I want my corners to stay down once the card has been created. Sorry, just had a little coughing fit. And then again, we can pop this on to here. A little bit tacky in the corners, just a little bit. And then we're going to pop that onto there. Okay, so that's the card as it's looking at the moment. And honestly, you could just put a sentiment on that, thinking of you. Could be a sympathy card. You know, it's one of those sort of scenes, even as it is, would be quite nice as a card. But I'm going to bring in our Labrador. I'm not going to use all of the layers, just maybe 2 or 3, same as I've done with the other cards really. But that's a whole picture of a dog. That one's going to go on there. Then we'll have this one for our pieces here. I'll leave his little face for there, but I'll take his nose and his ear. And I think I will take this bit of grass because it's not really going to make sense if I use it on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is exactly the same as what I've done with the other ones. Is I'm just going to, off camera, actually I'll show you, I'm just shaping it. I'm just thinking his head would come up a little bit there. So we've just got a little bit of shape there, and then this would go sort of roundy and up, and his little face would come round. His little nose would be sort of rounded. His ear would come over, and then I'm just going to sort of give this one a bit of shape as well. And what I'm going to do now is just put foam pads on all of the backs of these, and I'll come back when we're ready to assemble, so bear with me. Okay, so those are all done now, so let's just assemble our Labrador. A little bit of glue on the back just so I get a little bit of wiggle room time, so we can just pop, let's match his little feet up, match his ears about there, and this is his front paw. about there. And we've got his little, well, it's not little, is it? They have huge heads. Huge, beautiful heads. And then we've got an ear. And it's going to go on like so. We have his beautiful nose. Use my tweezers for this one because it's a small piece and my hands are getting in the way. So it goes over like so. Just squidge that into place with that glue. And then we've got this bit of grass. Which is going around the back there. Okay, so when I thought of this card, I thought he would be coming over the top, but I think that's going to look a little bit weird because he's going to be in the middle of the sea. So I think the best place, although it's not perfect, is going to be him on this lower step. Still going to be a little higher than a 4x6. In fact, I could come up a little bit there. And I think that is going to be the best sort of place for him on there. So what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of tacky glue along this bottom piece. And give that a second or so to set. Let's just put that into position. I don't want it coming over this side. I'm not bothered about the top because I can pop that in a bigger envelope. So that is how our card is looking at the moment. Now in terms of gems, I think the best thing to put on here is going to be these clear water sort of dewdrop ones. So let's pop a big one there and then a medium one, and then we might as well have a small, and then I'm going to pop a small one there. Seems to have a bit of fluff on it. There we go, and that's there. And I think I'm going to leave that one as it is. So that is that finished like little scene. I think if I'd have planned, maybe if I had come from the other side, those bits I'd cut off, maybe he would have been better if I had popped that sort of lighthouse coming across. But I mean, in any way, it still looks, it doesn't look too out of place there, I don't think. It does look like he's just come off the sort of onto the beach. He's got that sea behind him. The only thing that doesn't really match up is the sort of coastline and things, and the sea there. But I'm not going to think about it too much. I think that looks alright, and on a shelf it would look nice. Well, it does look nice to my eye anyway. You'll see if you look at the Pinterest pictures that I put up later, or Facebook, you will see that it doesn't look too bad. You could still cut out, like I say, these little seagulls if you wanted to add them in, or if you've got any little dies of seagulls. I know Tattered Lace did some lovely small ones that would fit in quite nicely there. I think Spellbinders have got some nice ones that are just released as part of their, is it Witherview set? They would look nice on there as well. But that's my first card. So what I'm going to do is get set up for card number 2. Okay, so the second card again, I'm coming in with that 6x12 cardstock, and what I thought I would do was to make a side panel stepper card. The template I've given you is for a 3-inch piece, which you do your matting and layering on. I'm going to move that over to 4, so I'm just going to adapt it slightly from the actual template itself. But if you want me to redo another template, then just let me know. So I'm going to come along at, I'm going to put this up to 4 inches here, and then I'm going to cut from 1 inch to 9 inch. Okay. And then if I bring my scoreboard back in, and so I am following the template myself because I have forgotten. And then what I'm going to do is, let me turn it this way. So this is going to be our smaller step, and we're going to have the larger piece here. So I'm going to score at 1 inch up to the cut line, and at 2 inch up to the cut line. At 4 inch up to the cut line. At 6 inches we're going all the way across. And then what I'll do is I'll turn that over and score at 3. But that's the 9 inch mark there. Okay. Oops. Drop my scoring tool. Okay, so let's just fold this. Fold it as if we normally would, first of all. Make sure that's nice and straight. Where did my old bone folder go? There it is. Okay. And then it's just going to be a case of just easing them in. Just being super gentle with them. Because obviously remember, it was a tree. They're not designed to bend or fold. So what we should be able to do is ease that in and down. Once we've got that sort of in the position, what we can do is come over with our porcelain bone folder or your Hunkydorys tool, and then we've got that slightly wider because I wanted the 4 inch there for my topper space. Okay, so now we need to bring back in the trimmer and some gold card. Oops, let me just move that scoreboard out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to take the piece for along here, so that's still going to be 1 by 6. So for my mat, you know I like to see that white, so I'm going to take that at 2 notches under the 1, 2 notches under the 6. And then this piece here is going to be 4 by 5. So I'm going to turn that around. I'm going to go 2 notches under the 4 by 2 notches under the 5, and that will fit into our piece here. And then here we have 1 by 2, or 2 by 1, 2 by 2, and 2 by 3. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get it all out of here. Technically, really, I think I should, but we will try. So let's see, if I go 2 notches under the 2 that way, and then 2 notches under the 1 for that piece. And we don't need that piece. What am I talking about? Because we've got that one there. We're not going to do that one. Okay, so 2 notches under the 2, and that will be for that one in there. Oops, let me just check that's nicely. Yep, and then hopefully this should be, no it's not because I cut that up a bit off. Let's bring in a little bit of scrap, so 2 notches under the 3. So if you ignore me on that first cut, you would have enough to do this. And then 2 notches under the 2. Okay, and then that one should fit quite nicely into there. There we go. Okay, so just to recap, because I did fluff it up a little bit, we've got a piece that for a mat for 1 by 6. We've got a 2 by 2, a 2 by 3, and a 5 by 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some layers now. Now I think now I have to be careful how what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece first of all, because this is the most important piece, because this is going to be my scene. So if I can open that up, and I want to get just this corner here. So what I found was in most of the scenes, actually let me bring the book back in. Oh, creaky chair, sorry. So they're lovely scenes and they're bound to be useful elsewhere, but obviously you can't really put him in there because that's just a huge chair and then a tiny baby chair, which I suppose some dogs do have, you know, like the children's chair. You know, I did think about popping him outside there, which would kind of work. But what I found, actually there was just one other one, wasn't there? I think the bedroom, the bed is huge. So yeah, there's, I suppose he could go there, maybe if there was a kid's chair there. But what I found was, if I take this piece from this corner up here and pop him there, it kind of looks like that's the table. So it won't look like a kitchen. So let me show you what I mean. So we need to be 3 3/4 by 5. So it's going to be 4 3/4. Okay, so now when I pop him in here, it doesn't really look like a kitchen anymore. It just looks like a bit of a living room with obviously a plant there, and that could be like a little coffee table, a stool, it could be anything really. I don't have to worry about where I place him on this really, because he can come over the sides of it with it being that stepper card again. So that was my plan with that. Okay, so let's use some of these pieces up. I think I might mix and match. Mix and match. So I'm going to take the 3/4 inch piece from here for my front piece, and that needs to be 5 3/4. And then bring in blue and brown. We'll see what it looks like, but I think it'll be fine. So I need a piece that's 1 3/4 squares. 1 3/4. And for a piece that's 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. We can always swap that out if we don't like it, but I think it'll be nice to just have a bit of contrast. I could have gone in with one of the other pieces, you know, I've got that one there which would work as well. What's that other one there? So we've got the checks that we used the other day. I think there is a brown sort of check pattern as well, which would work quite nicely. But let's start assembling. Let's move our little doggy out of the way. Bring my mats in. Okay, so again, this is paper, so I'm going to be using those dots on the back of it. So let's do that first of all. Right, like I say, it just gives me that little window of opportunity. Let's get that where I want it. So that piece there looks quite nice, all matted up. And this one, let's just pop those dots carefully at the end. And we'll put our all-purpose glue along the middle. Just going to try and get that. Move that along a little bit. Come here. No, don't be sticking down before I've pressed you down. That's a bit naughty. Yeah, that's nearly there. Come on. Yeah, that's it. Just needed to go up on that border a little bit. And then again, Here's a bit of glue. Some glue. So next time when I come back, I'll just tell you while I'm doing the same thing on these, just matting and layering those up. What I'm planning on doing is one sort of project with the leftover dogs. Sounds horrible, they're not leftover. They've got a home. They're right here at the moment. So far we've got our little Jack Russell, our Beagle and our French Bulldog. Obviously I'm going to have this Border Terrier, Border Collie, and that beautiful Labrador as well. And what I thought I would try and do, this is the plan anyway, obviously subject to change. I thought I would do a, oh no, I've forgotten what the name of it is and I put glue on the wrong side. So let's get rid of that. That was never meant to be. Let's go back and glue again. So sorry guys, the camera cut out again. I'm not quite sure why it did that this time. But all you've missed, I just recut that piece there and then I've matted and layered those onto the card. So nothing that you haven't seen before, just a bit of cutting and sticking really. So what I had to do was download to see where it got to before it decided to cut out. And you know, the bonus of that in a way is that I've just put all the foam pads on the back of this Collie ready to go. So apologies, I really do need to get this changed because it just does my head in when it does that. Okay, so we've got our dog. He's going to come on here, probably somewhere around about there, I think. But we'll put our decoupage on first of all, and of course I'm going to put glue on just to give me that wiggle in time. I also, while it was cut out, I did do the Labrador up while I was waiting for the information to download so that I could see where it was up to. But what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by it being cut off, is that next session, next little video that I do is going to be just one thing. So it's going to be a project. It's going to be a pop-up box. I did remember the name of it. I'm hoping to make it out of the 4x6 card. I'm hoping. If not, it will be out of a piece of UK A4. But yeah, that's the plan. And obviously, if I do manage to get this sorted out of these 6x12, I'll do a little template. If you want me to do a template for it anyway, even if I do it out of the A4, of course I will. Although I probably will be pretty much copying one that I found elsewhere. But that's the plan for next time, guys. So just something a little bit different. I'm also hoping that it will fit into one of the Hunkydorys sort of box envelopes that they do. So I don't know if you know, but they do packs of 6 sort of deep fill box for 6x6 card, and they do packs of 12 for a sort of smaller film. Now I find with the decoupage that I do that the smaller fill ones tend to fit on the cards quite nicely. But then I don't usually use all the decoupage, so yeah, it's worth considering anyway. Okay, so let's bring in our dog. I'm going to pop glue just completely over that inside, just so that we can get him where we want him to be. I think that would be nice if we could see the window. So we'll have him around about there on our little scene. So now it looks like a living room rather than a kitchen. I know we've got something hanging up there, but that could be anything, couldn't it really? Well, mind you, we could put our sentiment up there over covering that little plate. Yes, and I've forgotten to put the sentiment on the other one, so we'll remedy that in a second. Okay, so let's grab a foam pad or two and we'll put that on there. Actually just going to snip that in half. So that's ready for that other card when I bring that in. Okay, right, so let's pop a little bit of glue on there. And this is Time to Relax on Your Special Day. So I'm hoping we're not seeing the pad. No, we're not. Brilliant. So for this one we can go with some coloured gems, I think. Maybe some green ones. They're a bit too big though. Let's go with these ones. I really do like these ones. They're really sparkly. These are those nail gem ones. So we need to clean that little nozzle off. Just a little bit gluey. Just makes it a bit, the glue come out a bit intermittently when it's got glue around there. So it's worth just cleaning it off every now and then. And I want my little piggy up tool, which is there. Okay, so I'm going to come with some over here. Put two there, one there. A larger one and a smaller one. And then a larger one there. And then I'm going to bring two into this corner. Again, a larger and a smaller. And a smaller one. Let's pop that down. So that is that finished card. So that could be like a coffee table or something like that. That's what I was kind of thinking of. Maybe they've had a cup of tea and put it on the window ledge. We're not gonna delve too deep into it. We're just setting the scene really. And I think that's what you need to think about with these dogs, is try and put them in a story. If you're not gonna like put them in some kind of shape that like a label sort of die or whatever you're going to be using, then try and put them in a story. And you may have to sort of think about how you're going to cut that paper to make your story work. I don't think it quite did with the seaside one. Let me just bring that one back in. But it's not too bad. It's not upsetting me too much. If it was upsetting me too much, it would go in the bin. But it's not upsetting me too much. I think it does still fit in there because there is that distance between the sea and him. So we've got our birthday wishes, and I'm going to pop that straight down the middle. So those are our two cards. Like I say, next time coming back with the leftover, no, not leftover, the little dogs that need to be rehomed. So far I did do up the labia, I said, and then we'll have our border collie as well. And we will see what kind of a story we can put them into with a pop-up box. But until then, apologies again about the camera. I really don't know why it cut out. I suspect it might be because I put a lot of things on top of it and suddenly it got confused. But I need to not do that anymore. So I need to find a solution to that problem, which is what I will work on immediately after this video and everything's all been sorted. So pictures will go up on Pinterest and Facebook. They'll probably go up probably about an hour to an hour and a half's time, so it'll be about 6 o'clock, and then this video hopefully will go up, I think maybe around about 10-11, depending on how quick the computer is at doing that editing thing. But like I say, thank you so much for watching today and taking the time to support me. Welcome to all my new subscribers. You're appreciated, every single one of you. But until next time, happy crafting. Bye bye.